Ooh, what a night! What a night! How everybody doing today? Um, well, it's 12:30 where I'm at, so I'm say good afternoon, everybody. Just really just woke up from an interesting night in the world of boxing, and interesting world as far as MMA go as well. Um, today I'm just on just to see what everybody doing today. We're gonna watch a little NFL. I'm pretty sure people are getting out of church. Yep, getting out of church around this time. Um, it's Sunday, fun day, and what's going on, world? Let me know something. What we doing? Um, hell of a fight last night. Tyson Fury had a hell of a fight. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly did. Um, I can't wait to see what his decision is on his next fight. Um, for all the people that you know, I've been hearing a lot of mixed feelings about what Tyson Fury should do with his next fight. And I've been hearing mixed feelings about what happened last night. I just want to say from my standpoint, I feel as if the best fighter won. It's nothing you can do when you go in there and you get your eardrum busted and now your balance off. It's part of the fight game. It's no different than a football player playing and he break his leg on the first play of the play. That doesn't mean he's not a good football player. That just means he caught a tough break, and you break your leg, you can't play. And I kind of seen that with Deontay. His ear got busted, and he just wasn't much of what he do, which is a knockout artist. Could he have continued to fight if he had better boxing skills? I would like to think so, but I also would like to say that boxing also, balance also play a big role in boxing. So I mean, if Tyson Fury would have got his eardrum busted, I figured it would be the same thing. He would have been off balance. Um, but we did see that being for all intents and purposes, a one-trick pony can work against you like it did last night. You got to bring more tools to the toolbox when you at this level of boxing. When you've made it to the top of your division, when you're fighting other top tier talent, you have to bring more to the table. I mean, one thing can only work for so long. We done seen this. It's been other fighters that came before Deontay that had that one ferocious power, whether that's power, whether that's speed, whether that's a great boxer, and then they ran up against other boxers with a multitude of different skills. Um, uh, I like to use Tyson. A lot of people say, well, Tyson was different because he did it to himself because he was partying too much and there was the drugs and the fame. Well, like I say, I equate that to the same thing as Deontay Wilder. If you're gonna say that, you know, what happened to him because he refused to add more tools to his toolbox or up his skill set, then I would say the same thing about Mike Tyson. It was self-inflicted. Had he not got out of his mind with drugs and not let the fame run wild with him, he would have stayed at the top of his game longer than he did. But he didn't. Unfortunate situations. He did what he did. Deontay did what he did, and that what breaks the difference at this top level. Um, when you're talking about fighting other good top tier fighters, and we seen that. So it happens. I hope Deontay take a nice break, go get himself healed up, go and get that ear check, get that balance check, get that leg check, because we did hear him after the fight. He did say that he came into the fight with a pre-existing injury. I don't know if that was an excuse or that's just the first thing that came to his mind, but we did see we did hear him say that he had a leg injury coming in. So, and I think if that is the case, I think that comes with the fact that he himself He came in a lot heavier than he usually fight. And one thing about it is when you're in a sport, any sport, I would say, and you're moving around a lot, you can't just shift weights. And we kind of seen this when Conor McGregor did it in the UFC. He took some time off. He was fighting at 155. Well, he was fighting at 145. Then he went to 155, which wasn't too bad because when he fought at the lower levels, he fought at 155 as well. So his fluctuation from 45 to 55 wasn't that dangerous. But then when he went to 170 from 155, that's where we seen the fireworks. That's where the danger came in, and we seen him gas out under that weight because he was not used to walking around or fighting in that weight. He probably used to walking around. He wasn't used to fighting at that weight, and we seen that Nate Diaz did what he did in that first fight. Now since then, McGregor had two other fights at welterweight, and he's been impressive at both. So now it seems that he caught the concept of the 170-pound division. I personally think he should go back down to 150, 155, but not quite yet. Give him another fight, then he should fight Khabib. I don't think he's really ready to fight Khabib or Tony Ferguson for that fact of the matter. I think him and Tony Ferguson could be fireworks, but I don't know if McGregor's really on that level to really get at Tony Ferguson right now. We'll see how that go. I'm not 100% sure. Um, but that's just a prime example of like when you shift weights like you do, what you know, when you shift weights like that, it can throw you off of what you normally do. And we've seen that. So shouts out to Deontay Wilder. I hope he's good. But let's talk about the new king of the heavyweight. I, I was talking to some other guys on YouTube. They was giving their sports opinion. I'm of the opinion to think that now that Tyson Fury did win that title last night, and in the fashion that he won that title, he is the shot caller for the heavyweight division. Now he gets to decide what he want to do, and I think the best move for him, if it can happen, is to get in the ring with Anthony Joshua. It's a big money fight, probably the biggest fight we can get done in the heavyweight division, and find a venue in the UK and let's get it on. The winner is the unified champion of the heavyweight division, unified. So this is the ball is in Tyson Fury court at this point because I'm pretty sure if he pulled a number, Anthony Joshua was gonna take it. He would much rather fight Fury than Wilder, just him because nobody wanted to be on the other end of that punch from Wilder. Now he'll be fighting a boxer, um, an impressive boxer after last night, as we seen, but it would be a fight that's more up his lane, more up his alley. So we'll see how that go. But I've been hearing some other names get out here. I heard Dylan White. I heard Andy Ruiz. Listen, those are great. Those are fantastic competitors. Those are good names. But listen, Tyson Fury is the big dog in the heavyweight division. Anthony Joshua, for all intents and purposes, he's still a top five. Let's say he's the third best fighter if you still want to consider Wilder the second fighter. Here or there. That's according to your opinion. Tyson Fury want the big dog. He don't want Dylan White. Like Dylan White is probably barely scratching top 10 right now. He got beat by Joshua. I don't want to hear about Dylan White. He had his shot to beat Prime Time. He lost to Joshua. That's it. And the Ruiz. And the Ruiz had his chance to be what, top three, top two fighter in the heavyweight division. And instead of taking the opportunity serious, he went out and partied. He had a good time. He spent a lot of money. And he came in and he lost his opportunity to be at the top of the division. So I don't want to hear about no Anna Ruiz. Luis Ortiz, I understand both of his losses came from Wilder, but now he has to fight somebody else and show that he still got some goods before he can jump in the ring with Fury. So listen, it's only one guy that Fury could really fight that he would call an elevation to his career, and that'll be Anthony Joshua, bar none. All these other options are ridiculous. They're just like personal bias. Oh, I think he deserved. Why? He lost to the guy that gonna be in this fight. You can't just lose and then come around. It's not battle rap. You can't lose so good and then, oh well, he should get the top fighter. No, 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 no. No, that's not how this works. This is the sports world. It's not how it works. Especially in boxing, it's about money. Who's selling out the O2 Arena, Wembley Arena, et cetera, in the UK outside of Anthony Joshua? Yeah, Dylan White might, but Dylan White would have to fight a certain person. He wouldn't sell it out by himself. And then Joshua can go fight a no name and probably sell it out. And now Tyson Fury will go fight a no name and then sell it out. So only imagine what they're gonna do when they get in that ring together. So that's what you got to keep in mind. Like these these guys out here, they're in the money making business. So whatever fight gives them the best in the money making business, that's what they're doing. They're in the money making business. And I think we have to remember that this is the money making business. So let's not sit here and act like, they doing this out the good of their heart, because they're not. Let's be real, they're not. And neither do I blame them. They putting their life on the line, so they want to make as much money as possible when they're putting their life on the line. So by all means, fellas, do what you got to do. Go out there and make you some money. But I found that to be very interesting that other names got thrown out. But I think it's pretty clear cut in this decision that the next fight in the heavyweight, next top fight in the heavyweight should be Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. I also read that PBC is right now, they're putting the finishing touches on a Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz fight. That fight probably, you know, give us the third or fourth best heavyweight, depending on how that turn out. So that's going to be a good fight. That's a good look for the PBC. I'm glad both of those fighters are under the PBC banner because that makes that easier to make. And I think that's a fight that fans will be intrigued in. I think it'll be a fantastic co-main event to maybe another pay-per-view event if they have one. If not, I think that fight is every bit of worthy of being on Showtime. I don't think that's a Fox Sports One fight, maybe on Fox. The good thing about Fox is local, so you're going to get more eyes on it. So if they want to do that, that's just as well. But if they're going for the premium dollars, that should definitely be on Showtime. I would not call it a pay per view fight unless it was a co-main event to a pay per view, someone else pay per view fight. So I think that's a good fight. I think that's a fight that the fans have been waiting on, and I think that in a nutshell is the heavyweight division. Um, and for like I say, if you don't agree with the analogy I just gave you as far as who should get the Tyson Fury next, then listen, all I can say is go give me some numbers and show me that. Yeah, had a little technical difficulty on that. I don't know what happened, but yeah, like I was saying, I think Tyson Fury earned his right to be where he at to call his shot, and now as you can see, we got what we got. So in the sports world is the success of the XFL up to this point. I want to dove into that a little bit. I think the XFL deserves a little more respect than it's been getting. The numbers have been outstanding lately, and I think the product has been pretty good. I know a lot of people had a problem with it when it first came out. They thought that it was going to be the same old sideshow that it once was back in the day. But to say the less, it's been a pretty entertaining product. I would say they're about what 3 to 4 quarterbacks away from it being a product that could be consistently watched, but still a good product nonetheless. So I think we should put a little more respect on their name. Today we have the New York Galaxy going against the St. Louis Battlehawks. That's the 3 o'clock game on ESPN, not ABC. It usually gets showed on ABC, but this time it's on ESPN. And then the 6 o'clock game on FS1 going to be the DC Defenders against the Los Angeles Wildcats Defenders are playing some good ball. They got Cordell Jones. He's probably the second best quarterback in the league right now, behind the Houston Roughnecks quarterback, um, Williams, PJ Williams, I think his name is. Um, so that he's been playing some good ball, and that's why I say if this league could just get the quarterback position right, um, they would be pretty entertaining to watch. I think that's the problem is you don't have enough consistent quarterback play in the league. Cardell Jones having to be one of the few. I think you got three quarterbacks that kind of separate themselves as of now. We'll see how it go as the season goes. Um, you got like I said, number one you got PJ Williams, number two probably Cordell Jones, and number three is Jordan Ta'amu from St. Louis. You got those three guys, and then it's like a significant drop off of guy number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Which the Tampa Vipers, I don't. They got 2, 3 quarterbacks that ain't worth being talked about. So yeah, they definitely in this offseason, once it's all said and done, they're gonna have to figure it out. But overall, I think it's a good product. On my show, The Drink of Wisdom, with myself, Jay Wise, and Cody Ward, we like to, when we was talking about this, we was talking about the extra points. We was talking about the a lot of the changes that happen in the XFL that we can see implemented in the NFL at some time. And one of the things is the kickoff. I love the kickoff. I love how the guys are on the 25-yard line, and they pretty much can't move until the receiver catches the ball, which to me essentially turned that special team play into a running play because now everyone is blocked. So you got one-on-one blocking. It's all about the one-on-one blocking. And listen, here's the deal: it's safe. It's a lot more safer than it once was, just simply because you don't have a guy streaking sideways down the field, or you know blind side and you can't see him. Now you can see everybody because they're right in front of you. You just got to find your own crease and you got to break it. And I think that makes it does make less for big returns, but it makes the play hell of a lot more safer. Um, and at the end of the day, that should be what we're thinking about. I got it. We like football because it's violence, but you just think if that was your dad, your brother, your uncle, granddad, whatever you want to put on it. Just think if that was him out there putting his life on the line and somebody streaking down sideways and just smack the skin off him and, discombobulate his spinal cord, how would you feel? And I think we get lost in that because those are not our kins or not our loved ones that's out there. But I like to think that that would matter if it was somebody that was close to you. Um, with that said, I like that. I think it's safe. The 1, 2, 3 point options that you get after you score, you can either, they don't do field goals. You automatically have to go for one of the three options. I love that. I mean, if you're a kicker, you're probably not the happiest about that, but it happens. You get the 1 point. You get that from the 1 yard line, I think the 1 or 2 yard line. The 2 point is from the 5, and then the 3 point is from the 10. And you drop your plays as such. I love that. I think that's fantastic because is I'm sorry, I call that the quarterback for the Houston Roughnecks. I call him PJ Williams. His name is actually PJ Walker. PJ Walker. But I love that because here's the deal. It forces you to make a decision, and when you're making that decision, now you're there, and you know the succession rate of the 3 point play is very very low. However, it's exciting. Essentially it's like an onside kick for a lot of fans because you could turn one possession into 9 points if you make it all happen, right? And then it's exciting for the fans because we want to see if you can make it happen. Um, the the one thing that the XFL does do that I think is highly outrageous that I don't quite agree with is the fact that as soon as you get done, playing or making a play, they go shove a mic right up your nose pretty much. I think that's a little absurd, but it brings interest. I done talked to a lot of people that said they like it. They said they understand it. They like the transparency of all that, but I think it's absurd. you got a field goal kicker that missed, let's say a 45-yard field goal, that could have put his team in the lead. Then before he can make it to the sideline, you come in and you stick a mic in his face, and then you had the audacity to ask him what was going through his mind when he was kicking the field goal, or how did he feel when he was kicking the field goal? Well, how do you think he felt? What do you think was going through his mind? Like, he missed the field goal, so he's probably bummed out. And now I'm starting to see now what the players are doing is they're starting to come up with their own workaround for all this. So now they starting to use this opportunity to advertise for something else or crack a joke, show you another skill that they got. I could have sworn one time they went to one guy, he was juggling or something. He was just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're making it to such the networks gotta really wonder if they really want to talk to this guy right now, or if they just gonna pass and go talk to someone else. And I like that because, like I said, you even see it with the UFC, and I like Joe Rogan when he says this. When a fighter lose a fight, the first thing you want to do is not go shove a mic in his face. Let him get his wits about himself. Let him think about what happened. Let him get his thoughts together, and then we'll go talk to him. You know, um, but shoving a mic in his face as soon as the fight is over, that ain't it. That's just not it. I'm not a fan of it. So I'm glad the players are took it upon themselves to you know, find ways around it, crack jokes, talk about something that's irrelevant. So that's pretty cool. Um, what else did I see that I like? The coaching. You get to hear the coaches the whole time. The quarterbacks get to talk to their well, okay, the quarterbacks get to talk to the offense coordinator or the head coach, whichever one, during the duration pretty much of the whole play, all the way up to the snap. They get to talk to them. So that helps these guys out because you got to understand this is the XFL. It's not the NFL. This is not top notch talent. These are guys that probably bounced around. They wasn't even good enough to be on practice squads in the NFL. So let's remember that. They wasn't good enough to be on practice squads in the NFL. So the talent ain't at the all time high here. So, you know, it is very, very beneficial for them that they get to talk to the head coach all the way up to the snap. And the same thing for the middle linebacker on the defensive side, that he get to talk to the coach all the way up to the snap to make those pre-snap adjustments, to make those last minute adjustments, whatever the case might be. It's very beneficial that he gets to do that. So I think those are a few things that come in with the XFL that's pretty doggone dope. The only thing I really see going in the future that probably will even make it to the NFL is probably the kickoff. The kickoff seeming like something that could happen. But the rest of these things I don't think will make it very far. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere anytime soon. So we'll see. And I like to remind people the first time the XFL came around, it was a colossal bust nonetheless. However, it was a lot of things that the NFL took away from the XFL. And I guarantee you at least two of these concepts that's been introduced to us this year from the XFL will get taken away, well, will get borrowed, I should say, by the NFL and to make their product better. And I don't think the XFL got a problem with that. That's how you do it. It's just like any other job. If you got an intern or you got an understudy, and that understudy come up with a fabulous idea, usually that boss comes up and that employer comes up and he or she say, "Hey, I like that idea. Let's talk. Let's sit down and talk about it." So you know, you know, it's just like any other business, but because it's sports, people like to say, "Oh, well, that's kind of whack that they'll take that idea." Well, just go look at any other business in the world and see how it get made. You don't think Steve Jobs took ideas to build his empire? Bill Gates didn't take ideas. Elon Musk didn't take ideas. Donald Trump didn't take ideas. Yeah, they all took ideas. I mean, it is what it is. You know, it's a lot of smart people out here. Why not listen to them? Just because you believe you smart, don't mean you shouldn't listen to other people. They might be just as smart, if not smarter than you. So that's the downfall is people egos when they think they're too smart to listen to others, and I think that's a bit of a misconception, and just misleading. Like you should be able to listen to your underlings, as they call it. But yeah, so I think as far as today go, we got the Lakers playing the Celtics at 3:30. That's the marquee game as far as the NBA slate go. That's going to be on ABC. So that's probably why the first XFL game is on ESPN because let's be real, the NBA probably said, "Hey, we want ABC," and that's the bottom line. So that game will be going down in Los Angeles. They played, I want to say, 3 weeks ago, and it wasn't pretty for Los Angeles. I happen to be a Laker fan, and let me just tell you, it was not pretty. Boston put it on us. They blew us out. It was a pretty bad look. But I did like what I saw with the Lakers the other night. They seemed to come out with a more of a defensive mindset after the All Star break. So if they can keep that going, I think it's a big chance that we see a very, very different result from that game today. So I'm very intrigued to see that. But that's pretty much today in a nutshell. Um, is the XFL and the NBA slate. As far as sports go, it's a pretty down day as far as sports. Um, and for that battle rap community, I just seen that the app, if you had a URL app, um, I just seen that they dropped the super trailer for Geechee Gotti versus New Jersey Twerk. If you didn't see the upload that they put on the caffeine app, I just want to throw that out there that if you are a battle rap fan and you want to see this next pay per view by the URL that's going down on February 29th called Genesis, headlined by Geechee Gotti versus New Jersey Twerk. It will be streamed free on the Caffeine app. Um, all you gotta do is type in caffeine. You're gonna see a blue symbol with little lines through it. Look like I don't know what the shape is called, but it's like a geometry, little 3D shape. You should see it as soon as you download it. You go, you create your account. It's free. You don't gotta pay anything. It's not like the app. It's free. You create your account, plug in your pictures, plug in your info, however, and then you just go and you follow different platforms just like you would do it with any other platform. Find the URL, boom, add them. That is the platform that four, and I want to make sure I'm speaking correct, four of the battles off that card will be shown. I think it's a problem where they can't show the whole six for some reason. But either way, four is you're doing pretty well if you get four. Yeah. So like I was saying, so four of the battles will be shown on the caffeine app, and then the rest of the battles will be uploaded for the premium app users in the following days, kind of like how they do app only battles. So that's pretty dope to be able to get a chance to watch battles of this magnitude for free. I think this should open up the door for people. If you're not battle rap fans, but you want to know about it, you're a little interested, you're on the fence, here's your chance to watch some top tier battles for free. Four of them. And if you're interested, then you can go get the app. The app is $7.99 a month. And I do have the app, and I personally do like it. Um, I like being in the know, and I think that's the fastest way to be in the know. And they listen for all the flack that the URL do get. I think they do a good job with dropping other battles on YouTube. Yeah, I understand that we might not care for them, and I understand they might not be the most popular, but they're still giving the YouTube users something. They could just put everything on the app and pretty much force you to buy the app, but they give you something. The pay per views will be out 5 6 months late, but you'll get them. It is what it is. You pay for what you get, right? Also that night we'll have another battle rap event going on in the same city. I hear both events going in Atlanta. I don't remember getting a confirmation from the URL on what venue they will use, but I do hear the event will go in Atlanta. The URL I mean RBE. I'm sorry, RBE. Will be doing their event. It's called the Get Back. That one is headlined by 40 Cal and Ill Will. 40 Cal will be making his comeback into the battle rap community after a long layoff. That should be interesting. One of the bigger things that's surrounding this whole ordeal with both um, both businesses, both promotions, I should say. I'm sorry, both promotions is the fact that JC was supposed to go against Oops on the RBE card, but later we found out that he'll be facing O Red on the Genesis card. So take that for what it's worth. Um, you got opinions all over the place. Some people say JC was gonna pull the 2-1. That's how JC made it sound on his platform that he was gonna pull a 2-1. He was gonna do both battles. He was just gonna schedule it where he can do both. Because the times do, if you think about it, the times do allow you to do both. Because one is starting at like 5, and I think the other one is starting at like 1 or 2 or something like that. So they got different starting points. So he probably could have done it, but I understood that from my understanding that Oops said he did not he did not care for that. He wanted a fully focused JC. So he has the right to have a fully focused opponent. Oops is a guy that making a name for himself. So Oscar winning, Grammy winning artist, I think you have the right to say that you want somebody full undivided attention. And I don't blame him for that. So he came out on his platform and said the battle wasn't going to happen. So it's a bunch of, I don't know. It's his fault, my fault, their fault, whatever. At the end of the day, JC, evidently, I would think the URL gave him a bigger bag and gave him a more high profile opponent. I like O Red. I think O Red pretty good. Do O Red come back and just hit you with the pop, 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 pop like he used to? No. But he's gonna shake that room at least once. Y'all seen him against Geechee. And Geechee my guy. But I just felt like the espresso okay. I ain't gonna hit the line because I don't even want to mess it up. But he said something to Geechee in that second. He hit it with this. I feel like the espresso feeling. Okay, so O Red. I'm still waiting on the O Red and chess. I want to see how that battle went down. That was on the app event that went down recently. On the 25th and 26th of January. But I want to see that as well. And look, man, at the end of the day, um, back to the JC point. At the end of the day, man, he deserves to make the bag that he want to get. I know he's chasing Surf, he's chasing Lux, but listen, I had to go back and look at a lot of his material and his battles and the ones I missed. And one thing I say about JC is even on his off day, he still bring you 1 or 2 room shakers, and that, I would say at least one room shaker per round. I mean, he wasn't his tip top best against Charlie Clips, but that's Charlie Clips. He can overshadow you if he wants to. He has that skill set. I didn't think Jay Z was terrible. I did think he was kind of plain. I didn't think he put his max effort into the battle. But sometimes when you're great, you think you don't have to put in your max effort. You think it just comes to you. You don't work as hard when you're not as hungry. Um, and I can possibly say JC might not be as hungry. He's been doing this for a while. He's been a top tier battle rapper, and he could be losing his hunger. That's probably why he wants Surf and Luck so bad. That's probably the battle he wants to go ahead and ride out into the sunset. But the problem is, JC, for you to get those battles, like my man Vada Fly say, look, you got to do something, man. You got to go out here and promote. You got to do whatever you got to do, not just pulling Beasley to the side and saying, "Well, they got the bag." And no, you had your chance with Charlie Clips. You go in there and you buy the Charlie Clips. What are we talking about here? You could possibly sit back and just wait. for how to see how Surf and Lux go, and then call your shot if you body bag Charlie Clips, or at least if you 2-1 Charlie Clips for you. A lot of people, when I talk to them, they giving it to Charlie Clips, so you take that for what it's worth. But a lot of controversy going around about how JC handled that. Very very interesting. I want to go back and hit on something back with the caffeine app. Uh, it's a startup. It's like me right now doing this YouTube video. It's a startup. You got to start from somewhere. So I would tell people, don't go into this app thinking with the same mindset that you would think with YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, like these more established platforms that they're running like butter now because they've been around so long. Caffeine has not been around long. I think Drake, this is a venture that he's invested heavily into, and he was the one that actually brought the URL, this idea to the URL, and Smack, Chico Beasley, all them, they did their thing, collab with Drake, and now they're giving us this wonderful opportunity to see these battles for free. All right. It does come with its downfalls. I did forget to talk about the downfalls, but that those of you that are interested in what I'm saying. So one of the downfalls is when this battle gets aired, you will only get to see it while it's on air. Once that battle is over, once that feed is cut for that battle, you will not be able to see that battle again until the app decides to drop that battle. Whereas in the old pay-per-view platform, you get to see the battle. If you bought the pay-per-view, as soon as the VOD come out, you get to go back and watch the battle as many times as you want because you bought the battle. So you get to use it as much as you want. That is the difference between something you pay for and something you get for free. You have more control over something you pay for. When you get it for free, you have to go with, you know, whatever it comes with. So everybody like free stuff until they realize how, how unfree it really is when you think about it. So that's the deal with that is you're going to see it once, it's going to go off, then you're going to have to wait for it to come out on the app, on the URL app. Once it comes out on the URL app, you'll be able to watch it again, so on and so forth. It'll be what it be, right? So that's one thing, and I do think this experience is going to get better. I think this relationship going to get bigger. It's going to be more fruitful after a while. So just hang in with the URL with this. Just hang in with caffeine. I know I am. Um, and I think this is going to be a big deal. And I would not be surprised if Lux and Surf battle go down on caffeine. That I think that would be the battle that would really, really move the needle. Not saying that Geechee God in New Jersey Turk won't, but I think when they show, if they put Lux and Surf, whenever they're gonna battle, if they put that battle on caffeine, I think there's gonna be so much buzz and interest around that. You're gonna you're gonna see that app pick up steam, and then once that app start making a little progress for itself and making money, they'll make the necessary upgrades, they'll make the necessary moves, and I think that's what people need to understand when when we're talking about this is you know they gotta get some skin in the game, just like me. I gotta get skin in the game, so I understand where the caffeine app coming from. But if you're a big time guy, like you know my guy, the guy I like to follow, my idol, Shannon Sharp, for example. He don't gotta get no skin in the game. He good. He balling. He YouTube. He Facebook. He Twitter. He's already established. But I can sympathize with the caffeine out because I need to get skin in the game, and I'm starting and I'm trying to do what I can do to get my name up. It's good that they got Drake behind them, but you're gonna need a little more than that. So um, I think when that battle go down, that'll be the battle that moves the needle. That'll be the groundbreaking battle. Um, just like it was other battles in the past that got smacked from behind the camera to in front of the camera. All right. So yeah, the back to the RBE card. I'm sorry, I got a little off topic. Yes, you got that 40 cal versus Ill Will. That's the main event. I want to say the co-main event is Big K versus Adi Boom. I think that's the co-main event. Also on that card, you got A Ward versus Danny Myers. That should be very interesting. Um, and then I'm just gonna be honest. I think you got Blue Cocaine versus Lady J. I'm not gonna fake the funk here. The RBE really lost some steam without the JC and Oops. I thought they really lost some steam. Um, I hear my man Vodafly. He's really big on go follow him over on his platform. If you want to hear what he's saying about the whole A War versus Dynamite, him and Showtime SP. They did a very good job of describing that, breaking that one down. So I think they did a good job. If you want to hear about that, um, but I think the RBE they might take a L this night. It's just very hard for me to see them not take a L when the URL not making people buy tickets. If you're an app member, I guess they hit you up some way and they buy you a ticket to the venue. You get in for free. Then you can watch 4 of the battles for free, including the main event. If you don't get to watch nothing else, at least you get to watch the main event for free. It's in Atlanta. The location is prime for the Ripon. And the RBE just they lost probably the second biggest battle on that card, just like that. So Smack is definitely out here flexing his muscle. He definitely out here doing that on them right quick. But it is what it is. It happens. Um, and before I get up off that, before I get off this and get off the battle rap subject as a whole, Lux and Surf. Someone asked me about that. They asked me what I thought about it, and I told them, listen, Lux is a god in the battle rap. Lux is Mount Rushmore. However, if you look at the biggest group of the battle rap audience, their age, what they're interested in, the biggest impact of the audience, they're gonna understand what Surf say a lot more than what they're gonna understand what Lux is saying. Lux is his pen is phenomenal, but he tends to go over everybody's head. He tends to go on his tangents where he's preaching, and you got a quadruple, a tundra, or he's just saying all these biblical things that tends to go over everybody's head. Whereas Sue Surf is Jesus, looking in his eye, he I'm trying to teach my son how to walk. Look, that's gonna be very hard for Lux to beat standing still, you know, with his extra intelligent bars. That's gonna be very hard for him to beat. So I do think it's gonna take him. Lux is gonna have to move. He's not gonna be able to stand there. He's gonna have to perform. I like what he did at Summer Impact. I really did. The whole energy is so separate. I like that. I didn't mind that. But now you don't have Hollow to help you perform. You got to perform. And that performance you brought against Averb, I don't think that's gonna get it done. I just don't think that's gonna get it done. And I keep telling people this: the location matters. We don't have a location yet. If it happens in New York, Lux got a yeah. If it happens in New York, Lux got a better chance. But let's say this happened, I don't know, Houston, uh, what another big venue. Let's say what if Smack really got spicy with it and did it in New York? I mean, did it in California. California got a night good crowd. Like one of the best crowds I've seen on screen was that Traffic 3 crowd. I thought that crowd was really into it. I love the crowd in Houston. Please, Smack, don't ever take it back to Philly. I hope we don't do another event in Richmond either. I, One thing I can't stand is when I'm watching one of these battles and the crowd is just like they don't care. Like they're being very ungrateful and they're being very unappreciative to those artists that's in front of them on the stage. I think that's bull crap. So when these platforms, these promotions go to these crowds and I see So what is Queen of the Ring? You still got people out there performing and they saying hot stuff. And it was just, yeah, meh. That crowd in Virginia, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. I would not be mad if Queen of the Ring or URL or RBE or whoever else don't ever go back to those type of cities again. Go somewhere where they glad to have you. I thought California was awesome. I listened to that crowd. They was awesome. I thought the Houston crowd is always awesome. Um, I wasn't impressed with the Philly crowd either. I thought they was a little, eh, it's whatever. But I do have to understand what those crowds go through at certain events, waiting forever. The battle rappers. Sorry, the performance not ready to go on and this, that, and the third. And I like where the URL are going with penalizing these artists for not being ready. Get your purse, because hey, if they can do it in professional sports, why can't they do it in battle rap? If you want to be unprofessional, we're gonna treat you that way. And I like the URL for doing that. You want to be late, you're gonna give 15% of your back end, because URL probably already paid them the front end. So 15% of your back end gonna go to that other guy. Because if he's ready, or girl, I should say, if he or her ready to go, they should get paid for that. Just like in professional sports, boxing, MMA, you don't make weight, guess what? 20% of your purse go to that fighter. Make weight. Be a professional. Don't sign the dotted line to fight at 135, but you coming in here weighing 145. No, where they do that at? Mm-mm. You should get penalized. So I like that aspect as well. Um, URL, they're making strides. I love what I see, and I think we should be more supportive of that platform. We should be more supportive of the RBE platform. If you into the King of the Dot, I'm not really into the of the Dot all like that. I'm a fan of the Guardians of the Gate. I mean, yeah, something like that. Dre Dennis thing. Um, I'm a fan of his sound effects and stuff. I think he really had perfected, the thunder, the lightning, when the punch come through. I like that. I think that's a very entertaining product. Um, but yeah, man, that's it. Want to just come here, see how everybody was doing. Get a little spicy on both subjects, sports and battle rap. Everybody have a blessed Sunday, and I'm gonna see you when I see you. Holla.